Hello everyone, my name's Kurt and this is Simple Shop Creations. And in this video here, I'm going to go through the steps used in the free version of SketchUp for the web of how to design this crate. Now before we begin here, I'm using a Windows PC, so all my commands will be based on using a Windows PC keyboard. So in this particular drawing, we will access various tools, as you can see here, on this toolbar. So the tools we're going to go through is we're going to use the line tool. We're also going to use the arc tool, which can be found here. We're also going to use the rectangle tool, which is found here, and the push-pull tool that basically creates depth or thickness. Basically is going to create the thickness. We're also going to use the move tool, which is found here. Just allow you to move various components and also make copies at the same time by doing certain keystrokes. Also, we're going to use this tape tool to measure and also provide guidelines. Also, we're going to be using the orbit tool and the pan tool. Now, as I go through the drawing, I will give you shortcut keys on how to access the various tools that you saw in the tool callouts. Like, for example, the line tool can be done by selecting L. And to get back to the select tool, you just hit the space bar and it gets you back to that select tool. So as I go through this project, I will always try to tell you what shortcut key I'm using so you can learn that way. So with that, let's continue on with creating this crate. So once you log into your account, we're going to go ahead and create a new workspace. I'm going to use fractions. If you're going to use a different type of measurement, just click this down arrow and you can select what you want. Mine's highlighted for fractions and inches. And then there you go, you get to your new workspace. First step here is we're going to go ahead and highlight this individual and hit the delete key or right mouse click and select erase. Next, I'm just going to adjust this a little bit by depressing my mouse wheel to get the orbital tool. Next thing is we're going to create the side. I'm going to create one side first, and that's done by either selecting the rectangle tool or hitting the letter R on your keyboard. I'm going to grab this, I'm going to drag this a little bit, I'm going to hit the right arrow key to put it on the plane that I want or the axis I want. I'm going to release my left mouse button, then looking to the bottom right of my screen, I'm going to type in 13, 13, which stands for 13 inches by 13 inches. Hit the enter key. Now I have a 13-inch square. Next, I'm going to go ahead and hit the space bar. It gets me back to my select tool. I'm going to hit my orbit tool by depressing the mouse wheel, spin it around a little bit. Then I'm going to zoom in, hit H for the pan tool so I can move it down back in center, hit the orbit tool, zoom in by scrolling the mouse wheel, and then keep on doing that until I get to the size that I like. There we have it. We have our side of the crate, one side of the crate. Hit my space bar so I can get back to the select tool. Next, we're going to create the handle. The handle will be 1 1/4 inches down from the top, and the handle width will be 1 1/2 inches by 5 inches on center of the side. So how we're going to do that? First, we're going to create some guidelines, which will be done by using the tape tool, which you can see here. You either can select it here or hit the letter T. Now, just go along anywhere along the top here. You notice that it should snap into the center. Don't need to worry about that. I'm just going to go over to the left a little more. I'm going to click once, drag down, and then I'm going to type in 1.25 for 1 1/4. Hit enter. Now, you can type in 1 space 1/4, and you'll get the same results. Again, I want this thing to be 1 1/2 inches wide. I will select this other guideline, and then I'm going to go down a bit, and then again I'm going to type in 1.5 and hit enter. Now I have the width of my handle. Hit the space bar so you can see better. Back to my select tool. Next, I want to make the handle 5 inches wide on center, so we're going to have to find the center point of this square here. We already know it's 6 1/2 inches, but we're going to use the tape tool and we're going to draw a guideline going straight down the center. So you either select the tape tool again by hitting the toolbar or hitting T. I'm going to go here to the midpoint. I'm going to click once, drag. I'm going to hit the left arrow key to push the guideline in front and then on the green axis. Then I'm going to drag all the way up to here, and I should see it snap right there. Click, spacebar. Now I have my center guideline. Next is we're going to draw 2 guidelines here and another guideline over here. We know that the handle is 5 inches, so we're going to go 2.5 inches this way and 2.5 inches that way. We're going to use the tape tool again. Go ahead, anywhere in this line, click once, drag over, type in 2.5, enter. Again, click once, drag over, enter in 2.5, enter, and spacebar to go back to select tool. And now we have the width of the handle. Next, we want to draw an arc because I'm going to be using an 1.5 inch Fastener bit to cut through this on the wood, which will leave nice curves here. So we're going to draw that next. So we're going to draw 2 more guidelines again, but they're going to be 3/4 inches in and 3/4 inch in to give us our guidelines when we use the arc tool. So again, let's select the tape tool, click anywhere on this line, go over to the right, type in 0.75. Again, you can type in 3/4. Let's go to this side here, come over, type in 0.75, and now we have our guidelines for the arc. Next, we're going to select the arc tool. I don't know the shortcut key, it might be A, but I'm going to go ahead and select the tool and get the call out. Now let's take a look here. We're not going to use this one. I'm going to use the 2.1. So you said 2-point arc. I'm going to select this. So I'm going to go here on this 3/4 inch from the left side, and then I'm going to click once. Then I'm going to go here on the bottom, click once, and then I'm going to go to the center here and click again. And then there we are done with one side. Next, I'm going to go do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to click here. Then I'm going to go down, click again, and then go to the center. Click again, hit the space bar. Now, I need to complete this drawing here so I can complete this hole or the handle. So we're going to go use the line tool. The line tool you can see is right here. We're going to hit the letter L for the line tool. Now I'm going to go ahead and go here. Now watch, see it snapped. Click once, drag over, snapped again. Hit the space bar to get rid of that. Hit L again. Oh, yep. Oh. Hit space bar. Hit L again. L. Again, see it snaps. Drag across. It snaps. Space bar. Now let's get rid of these guidelines. So I'm not going to select from the right to the left. No, excuse me, from the left to the right. I'm going to go from right to left to grab this. See it nice and blue. I'm going to hit the delete key on my keyboard. And I'm going to do the same thing here. And now we're done with all the guidelines. Next is we're going to want to punch a hole here. And that's easily obtained or done by selecting this and hitting delete. Now let's orbit it so you can see that it's actually a hole. All right, so there we have it. Now the next thing is the crate side is going to be 3/4 inch wide. So I'm going to click on this a bunch of times, at least 3 times, which highlights everything. Then I'm going to do the push-pull tool, which you can see is right here. You can select it through the toolbar or hit the letter P. Click on the crate side and just move it, in this case to the left, and release your mouse button. Don't do anything else. Then we're going to type in 0.75 or 3/4 inch. Again, you can type in 3/4 and it'll work too. Hit enter. Now we have a 3/4 inch thick crate side. Hit spacebar to go back to the select tool, and then we can rotate by depressing the mouse wheel and holding it down. Next, I want to make a copy of this other side for the other side of the crate, and there's 2 ways to do this. We can select the whole item and then just copy it and move it over, but I'm going to make this into a component. And there's 2 ways you can do this. You can do what I just did here, just select the whole thing, or you can triple click on the item, and now you can see it's completely select. Now to create a component, after you select the item that you want, you can hit the letter G, it's going to come up component, and I'm going to type in the word sides and hit OK. So now it's one piece. So when I go ahead and select, boom, selects the whole thing. Next step here is I want to, like I said before, I want to create a copy, and the inside dimensions of the crate will be 15 inches. So first, we're going to select, everything's highlighted. We're going to use the move tool, which is done right here. You can see it right there. But instead, I'm going to select the letter M for move. Got it. I'm going to go ahead and select the corner. Click it once. Now see how it moves. Now I'm on a Windows PC, so I'm going to select the control key, which will create a copy and snap the original one back to where I started from. So watch. Boom, it's there. Next, don't touch your mouse key or nothing. We're going to type in 15. Look at the bottom right. See, I typed in 15 and hit enter. Now, you see that moved it 15 inches. So to confirm if this is 15 inches in between here, let's go ahead and take our tape tool. So again, T for tape. It's on the end point. You just drag it over there, and we see that's 14 1/4 inches. So we did not compensate for the thickness of the side. So now we're going to move it. So we'll go ahead and select this. See, it automatically selects it because it's a copy of the component called sides. We're going to hit the M key. I'm just going to go down here, click it once, just move it a little bit, type in 0.75 because I want to move it an additional 3/4 inch, hit enter, boom, moves it 3/4 inch. Hit the space bar. Now let's confirm if there's actually 15 inches in between these two items. Now when you click here and you just want to unhighlight it, just click anywhere, free space, and it disappears. So let's grab the tape tool, hit T, go here, and we're going to measure here, and we're at 15 inches. Hit space bar to go back to the select tool. Next, we're going to create sides. So we're going to use our wonderful rectangle tool again. I'm just going to bring this up a little closer, hit H, pan it to where I want it, and move this around a little bit, hit spacebar. We know we want to create a slat from this point to this point. So we can quickly measure how the distance in between these two are. It should be, I think, 16.5 inches. So let's do the tape tool. Again, you can hit T, or you can just do what I just did. It's like this outside point to this outside point, and we see that's 16.5 inches as I suggested. The slat's going to be 16.5 inches long by 1.5 inches wide by 1/2 inch thick. So let's go ahead and draw that. So again, we're going to select our rectangle tool. We're going to go to the outside here, click once, and we're going to go here, and I'm just going to drag down a little bit. Now, I'm not touching my mouse key or anything else. So if you look down at the bottom right here, you can see what dimensions are what. So I'm going to go ahead. So we know the length is the first dimension, and then the width is going to be the second dimension. So let's go ahead and type in 16, but this time I'm going to do a little different here. I'm going to do space 1/2, comma, and then 1.5, and hit enter. Now we have our rectangle. Hit the space bar. Next, we want to put some depth to this, or thickness. So I'm going to go ahead and click this. Now I clicked it 3 times to select the whole side. All right. So now we're going to have to, again, create this 1/2 inch thick. We're going to hit P for push pull, select again, and then just pull it, the mouse towards you, and you can see you get some depth. So we want a 1/2 inch. So we're going to type in 0.5, boom, gives you 1/2 inch, hit space bar. And let's orbit this around here a little bit. So now we have it. Next is we need to create a component of this side here. So instead of trying to select it, because what might happen here, you might accidentally select other items in your drawing. As you can see, I got lucky here, selected it. So I'm just going to go ahead and click in free space. And there's another way, again, as I showed you before, to select this particular slat. Let's go ahead and you'll triple click. And you can see it does the same thing. Now, we want to make, I guess, maybe 4 slats going down. So that'll be a total of 5. So to do that is, once again, we're going to highlight it all. But before we can go ahead and do this, we want to make this slat into a component. So we're going to hit G, and I'm just going to type it slat or slats. Hopefully I spelled it right. And hit OK. So now we know what is the component. We click free space, click it, and automatically clicks the whole slat. So click it again. Let me just pan this away a little bit. Let me bring this up a little bit here. All right. So let's select the slat, and we're going to attempt to select this corner here, so we can drop it down right here, and we can snap it into place. So we're going to move it and copy at the same time. So first step is highlighted, as I said. Hit the M key for move. Select this. Move it down a bit. Hit the Control key, because again I'm on a Windows PC. I believe it's the Command tool on Mac. And now we notice we have two. Now don't do anything. We're going to drag this all the way down. Snap, see how it snaps in place. Click once. Now go to your keyboard. We're going to divide by 4. And we'll see how that looks. So we're going to hit the slash. Notice the slash. And then 4. Enter. Now we have 4. Hit your space bar. And now you're back in select tool. So let's see here. That looks pretty good. Now we want to measure what's in between here. We can easily do that by selecting the take tool, or T. And we can go here to here. And we see it's 1 3/8 inches. We can confirm that again. This is arbitrary, take another one. And it's 1 3/8. Now we have to copy all these slats and put them on the other side here. So that can be done by, again, you can highlight this. Notice it selects the proper ones. We go to free space. Or you can select your Control key, click, 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 click. Those 2 ways you can do it. So, again, we want to move these slats, or copy these slats, over here. So I'm going to select this outside corner of the slat, because it's going to become the inside of this side here, so it'll snap easy. Now, if you want to get a little more zoom in here, you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to hit the H, and then I'm going to pan over here a little more. All right, so now we're going to do that. I'm going to orbit a little more. Okay, so how we're going to do that? Again, we're going to use the move tool. So we're going to grab the outside corner of this. I'm going to click. I'm going to move it by keeping my mouse down and hit the Control key. Oops. And then we're going to go ahead and snap. There we go. Hit the space bar. Free space. And now we have 2 sides. Next, we want to draw the same slats on the bottom. So we're going to just draw them new again. Anyway. So I'm just zooming this out of here a little bit. So we got to flip it. And that's done by selecting the whole thing. Right mouse click. And you see here, flip along the different axes. So we can try this, doesn't do anything. Do it again. We can try so we tried the red, we can try the green, doesn't do anything. And then we can try the blue, and boom, flips it. So free space, click anywhere in the free space. Now let's get this so we can make our other slats. So the next, we're going to draw rectangles again. Here again, we notice 16.5 inches, and the slat's going to be the same size as 16.5 by 1.5 inches. So let's select our rectangle tool by selecting the letter R. We're going to go right to this point here, snap it, click, and drag the best we can. Bring it over here. Again, we're going to go, again, we can see that our length is the first value and the width of the slat is the second value. So I'm going to go ahead and type in 16.5, comma, 1.5, enter. Boom, we got it. Space bar gives you back to select tool. So we're going to zoom in here a little bit. So now we got to select this slat here and create some depth. So again, a thickness of 1/2 inch. Triple click should give it to you. Hit the P tool for push pull. Click it, drag up if you can. And let's put in 0.5, enter, space bar, move it away. Now we have it. Oh, what happened here is, let me just invert this. Reverse faces to get the white up here. So every time you see that gray, you just can go ahead and inverse face. So next we want to do the same thing as we did on the slats here. We want to make copies of it and move it over here. So I'm going to triple click to grab it. I'm going to make this a component. I'm going to go G, and we're just going to make it bottom slats. And okay, now we have the bottom slats. I'm going to go over here. We can leave it highlighted, but if you accidentally click off it, just hit boom, and we have it highlighted again. We're going to move it and copy at the same. We're going to hit the letter M, and then I'm going to select this side here because I'm going to stop it over here. So let's go ahead, click it once, move it, hit your control key, which makes a copy, slide it all the way over until it snaps, release. In other words, press the mouse key once, slash, bottom right, and then let's do 5. That should give us 6 slats across the bottom. Boom, let's count. Space bar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. So it's how many additional you want, including the one that you moved, and then it'll add this to it. So a total of 6. I selected /5, which gave me 5, plus 1 gives you 6. There you have your completed crate. So let's go ahead and select this whole thing, right mouse click, and let's flip again on the blue direction. So now we have it. You have your crates. There you go. Your crate is now complete. Next step is to save it. So we'll go up here, we'll hit save, or whatever projects you want. And then I'm going to put it underneath this folder here. And we're going to call it CRATE, crate. Hit enter or select save. And you see it's saving. And now it's done. So there you have it. Simple drawing using various tools on SketchUp for the web. So with that, have yourself a healthy and happy day.